um, whatever greetings you go by. This is OsunToyin coming back again. And today, and we know every single time that I never ever have a script. So today it was kind of on my heart to want to talk about protecting your spiritual energy as far as who you allow in your space, who you allow around you, kind of what people call spiritual vampires and things like that. I just kind of wanted to elaborate on that for a little while. I don't know how long I'll be talking about it, but that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I thought about a few different things, but that was what was weighing on me the heaviest, and mostly because I'm sharing, some of my experiences as I go through them too, or as I start to quote unquote, I want to say master them, but basically figure out how to rise above something. And so I want to be able to share that with the public too, because I would never pretend like I know everything or I'm on top of everything. I know a lot, but I know that I need to learn a lot more. So I don't ever want to come on and put on one of those fake faces for anybody. But what I did want to talk about today, I'm gonna learn to stop saying and too. But you know what? It is what it is. So what I wanted to talk about today is, for one, let me just what came to me was like the phrase, what's for you is for you. Yes, that is very, very, very true. So a lot of times we hear that phrase, and it's real common among people when they're saying, nobody can take anything from you, nobody can do this or nobody can do that. And a lot of times I've seen different faces of people that say that, or people who will tell you that. And I've even heard people say, well, nothing is new under the sun, so all you can do is just do what you've been doing and blah blah blah, because if it's for you, it's for you. Nobody else can do what you do. Well, let me tell you what I've learned, and especially in spiritual communities and things like that, or people who are aware of energy. Don't even have to be a spiritual community, because everything we do is spiritual, whether we label it that or not. It's coming from somewhere to manifest here. So it starts as energy, and then it manifests itself into the physical realm some kind of way. So people can call it whatever they want to, but it's still the same thing. So with that being said, you know, you can have everybody has a destiny, and destinies can change. And it changes due to our decisions, things that we do in life, how we decide to proceed with things, what we deny, and what we accept. Because truth can come right up to you, and you can deny the truth. That will change your destiny. Because at the time that it presents itself to you, that's the time for you to take heed to it. You may not understand it right away, but you'll understand it at some point. But that depends on where you are in your mind and your spirit at that time. So back to the what is for you is for you. And the reason why I brought up destiny is because, yes, what is for you is for you. But there are tests throughout your lifetime, and you will always have them. Once you master one test, you're going to go into another test. Okay, so it's one level after the next level. It just don't stop. You'll get peace for a while, peace in knowing that after you've seen yourself overcome so many obstacles, because you do your work, your spiritual work, you do your prayers, you do whatever sacrifices is necessary for you to balance things. Once you know that you are in that rhythm and not moving out of a place of fear, then things will be favorable for you no matter what people try to do. But you have to stay consciously aware that even though what's for you is for you, there's always a spirit out there trying to take it. And that's what I want to get to. There's always some type of energy out there that is looking to ride your wave, looking to ride your energy wave, looking to build off of your blessings and claim it as their own. There are energies that look at you for what you are because you may not even be able to see who you are. But don't think one day that it's not visible to other people, whether they tell you or not tell you. And a lot of times when somebody is vulnerable or they're going through a lot of things, or they're unaware or oblivious or whatever, just going about their life, there'll be people around you that's always observing you. People are always looking. People are always watching, whether you know they are or not. And these people may see something special about certain individuals or about their destinies. Even if they don't call it destiny, they may just see things around people and they feel like, hey, I can utilize their blessings better than they can utilize their own blessings. I could do better with what they got. They don't know what they got. They don't know what they're doing. So you have a lot of these entities that is going to surround themselves for in a person's life who has a positive destiny or powerful destiny or a destiny of wealth or abundance. And that's another thing that we have to understand, that abundance is not always monetary. There are different forms of wealth according to spiritual cultures. Some people's wealth may be children. Some people's wealth may be to have a spouse in life because that's all that they needed. They may have gone through so much other stuff, and somebody finally comes along who loves them or takes care of them or supports them. And no matter how hard your life was before then, you will find people who will know what you struggled through, and they want to steal that blessing. They don't even want you to have a spouse. They don't want you to be happy in your marriage. They don't want you to be happy with a partner. So they will use these negative energies, use these bodies, these people bodies, to inhabit because they have space for it. So when I say they have space for it, it's because they're already working in a negative direction. So therefore, it's easy for a negative energy to inhabit a negative being, somebody who's on a negative vibration or a lower vibration. They're easily used. You see what I'm saying? By negative spirits, because that's where their energy is geared toward anyway. So just know that. And then another thing, as far as, these people trying to steal your blessings. So I want to talk about some more blessings. So you have a spouse, you have children. You'll have people around you who they may have children, but just didn't do a good job taking care of their children and mad because of the relationship you have with your children. I'm just giving you different scenarios to be aware of. Through experience, my own experience, through observation, and I do observe a lot. And then spirit talks through every observation. So you will have, people who watch you, being loved by your children, or watch how you love your children. They'll find a way to distract you. They'll find a way to try to intervene or to try to some kind of way steal that energy from you, whether it's steal your time, steal your joy, do whatever it is that they do in whatever capacity that they are allowed to do it in. They will do these things. So then you have people who will be upset that you easily generate wealth. They don't care what you've been through, how hard your life has been. They don't care that you may share your wealth. And yes, I am talking about myself in some circumstances. You will have people that no matter how much good you do for them, they'll repay you with negativity. They'll repay you with evil. They're never grateful. Nothing is ever enough for them because they are there to steal your blessings and for you to learn to elevate above that situation. So you'll have somebody that may be very close to you. A lot of times these entities have to work through, because understand also it is their job to do what they do. It's their job, because it's our job to not just have a title in life, but to earn that title. And so you do have to fight. You have to fight sometimes to hold on to your blessings. You have to fight sometimes to step up, even if it's just to say, I am worthy of my blessings. Because we can have this energy where we sabotage ourselves by doing things, give away everything we have to somebody who's ungrateful, give away too much time for people who, once they are done stealing your time, they go off and do what they want to do, and then they're not accessible because now they've learned from you, they've leveraged from you, they've gotten what they need to get from you, left you dry, left you tired, never replenished the energy that they was taking, and now they off doing their own thing. And when you go back to look for these energies or individuals to help you out from the same source that you gave those energies to, they're not available. So for one, you have to be prepared as a spiritual warrior. And this is not for everybody. This is not for the faint heart. It's not for people who don't obviously if you don't understand what I'm saying, then it's probably not for you to understand. But, you know, they will, people will dish out everything that they have to individuals who are not worthy of their time, not worthy of our energy, not worthy of our space. They shouldn't even be in our space because when they come around, they're nosy. These energies are not contributing, but they're taking, whether it's information, again, time, whatever it is, they always need or want or need to know something, but their energy is never reciprocated. Cut their ass off. Cut them off because it's not going to get better. You will already know who you're dealing with by the way that they respond to you. Damn what they say. What they say has nothing to do with who they actually are. There are some of the most charming, some of the most polite, intelligent individuals out here that know how to put on masquerade, basically. That's what they do, So I will honestly say, like I say almost in probably every episode that we do, that 98% of this world is fucked up. I'm just telling you, the people in it, the energies they allow to ride through them, it's BS to think that everything around you is positive. You can have that energy and you can want to display that energy, and you should if that is who you are, but you should also, for your own protection and your own safety, know that everybody does not think like you if you want to survive this world. Okay? So that's very important. So yes, what's for you is for you, but you have to protect it. You have to protect your space. You have to protect your knowledge. You have to protect your energy. I'm not saying don't part with it or don't give it, because that's why we acquire certain things, is to share, but vet out who you're sharing with. Know who you are sharing with. Okay? They can try to do whatever it is that they want to do, but as long as you are aware, that you are acknowledging, and that you're not in denial about what it is that these people or these energies are coming around you with the intentions to do, then you can overcome it. But you have to have on your spiritual armor, using your common sense and your observation at all times. Because there are people, again, who are leeches. They are moochers. They are energy vampires. They will try to build an empire on top of you, okay? And offer your skills. Hell, while we talking about it, that reminds me of people who work 9 to 5s, who at one point I did it, but I always knew that I could not. That was not me. And I experienced a lot of things, even in those situations, just like many other people, where you give all that you have to this company, to this place that somebody else already owns in their space and their time or whatever it is. And you go there and you clock in and you try to be a good citizen and you do all of this work. You're doing all the work. You see what I'm saying? You're doing the work that keeps the company running. But yet and still they take from you, you get mediocre payment compared to what you could get if it was your company. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, do not invest all of your time and all of your energy and all of your gifts into people who are dedicated to stealing from you. Energies that are dedicated to stealing from you and building on top of you. And I have to keep saying that because, and I don't share much of things like that in my personal space, as far as like dreams, but I will tell you that, that was something that was very recent. Somebody trying to build, or some entities trying to build off of me. Things I've already worked for, and I have to do what I do in my own time and in my own space and in my own way. But people again will look, these entities, these energies and spirits will look and say, I can do better with what they have than what they're doing with it, because they don't know your role. They don't care to ask you. This is how you vet them out. If they have never asked you, these people, beings, whatever, has never taken a sincere interest in you, meaning learned about your path, understand why you are the way that you are, why you think the way you think, why you move the way you move. If they don't have that kind of concern or that kind of care, and I'm talking about people now, because people are the ones who mobilize all of these things. You see what I'm saying? Here on this earth, for the most part, unless it's a natural disaster, then it's working through people. Okay. So with that being said, they don't show a sincere interest in you. You just gonna know, pay attention. They ain't never asked you nothing. They don't care. Will you talk to them about what you got going on? Are they listening? Are they sitting there and rooting for you? Are they sitting and learning or listening or paying attention and finding a way to work with you, coexist with you, to help you and you help them? Or is it one-sided? Is all that you hear coming out of their mouths about what they can do, what they gonna do, how they gonna move? You see what I'm saying? It's real obvious in many situations how people are and what their intentions are. And if you have these type of people around you, you have every right to shape whatever fear you think you feel of losing these type of people as company. Shape whatever type of fear you have of being the nice one, or thinking you're doing some kind of divine gesture by allowing them to come in your space, and you just gonna be so upright that you just gonna let them walk all over you, because yes, the hell they will. They will walk all over you. They will steal from you. They will continue to mooch off of you in your face with you watching. They will let you feed them. They will eat the food and say, and go to the public and tell the public that they cooked it. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, you are responsible. We are responsible for who uses us, who applies pressure in our lives as far as taking over our space and doing what they want to do in it. And that's kind of what I just want to talk about today, because there's a lot of that happening, and even in spiritual communities. And I have to stay on that, because that is what I am, who I am. I don't have to be claimed. And yes, I have had teachers, just for anybody who thinks that I'm not associated with anything. I have been taught by many things, the universe, teachers, actual people, things like that. But I listen to my divine intelligence, to my Ori, to my ancestors, because at the end of the day, people are shifty. Humans will do one thing and it'll change the next second. Okay, so what you do have is your first defenses and spirituality, which is your own personal divinity, your ancestors, all of creation that exists around us, nature, which I say is our original shrine. And so in many situations, I didn't fit into many spiritual houses, because yes, they would see me as coming in and be like, oh, she can bring money, or she'll bring people, or, they didn't know that I knew that that's what they, that I knew that that's what they were thinking, but they had no sincere interest in me in many situations. So, and I'm speaking that because I watched it happen and watch it happen to other individuals who may be similar. You see what I'm saying? These people will have you in these spiritual communities in a 9 to 5 in relationships too. Yes, because you can be with a spouse who is living off of you and not living alongside of you. It's a difference. When they're living alongside of you, they're doing their due diligence to complement you, and you're doing your due diligence to complement them. Everything is not about them and them taking and them succeeding off of you and you pouring out everything to everybody. We have a obligation to basically preserve self first, because you have nothing to give if you don't preserve yourself. You know, there's a difference between self-preservation and just selfishness. So many of us get these effed up words in English because this English language is a bastard language first. So it has a lot of contradiction within itself. But in the root words and the prefixes, there is the whole intention behind the words that we speak. You know, so what I was saying is that thank you. So what I was saying is that you know, we have to be careful how we allow people to play in our space, because at the end of the day, we're going to be responsible. And in these spiritual communities, let me go back to that, because a lot of these people are bullies in these spiritual communities. They think that they can go around and they think that they can scare other people into thinking they got something so powerful. You see what I'm saying? That this individual does not have a right or the ability to fight them back. Bullshit. Your advantage is always, like we talked about in the last episode, if you watched it, your character. Your character is what carries weight. Your intentions is what carry weight. You can do all the damn juju you want to, but if a person sees you and their character is in check, first and foremost, if their character is in check and they witness what is happening to them and they choose to go and fight, and they go to the same spirits or the forces that these other people go to, even if it's different by a different name, by all right in the universe, they have won in court, because there is a court in the universe. That's universal law. That is above any man-made law. Anything we can come up with here is going to be balanced, checked, and corrected in the universe. Period. There is no one here above that. Nobody. I don't care, again, what pot they play in, who yard they piss in to claim territory. Does not matter. They only have what people allow if nobody fights back. So if you see that you're being spiritually attacked, things are happening to you, you know, somebody is around you, and every time they're around you or these individuals are around you, stuff starts to happen, your blessings go down, you know, negative things start to happen, and you need to check who you have in your space. Because again, these people in some kind of way, whether they're in a spiritual community, in some type of tradition, practicing, whatever, some kind of way, they are consciously aware that they are taking. They know what they're doing. So don't ever think that they are not aware in some kind of way in their own spirit of what their behavior is. They always are. Okay, so you have no reason to allow, or no, you don't have to allow somebody to come in and take over your energy field. You have every right to push back. So I want to say that for whoever is out there feeling like, you know, they're helpless, somebody has more power than they have, you know, these people going to work over them and do this and do that, and they going to do this to them and do that to them. Baby, one thing about it, we all can gather. And I'm talking about people of melanin. I'm always talking about that. Never mistake that when I talk about anything supernatural or any type of quote unquote magical, which is not, abilities, things that we can manifest. I'm always talking about us. Okay. So With that being said, there is nothing that anybody, once you are consciously aware of what they are doing to you, that is nothing that they can continue to do without your permission. Don't feel bad. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel that they are more powerful than you. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what, self, let's do this shit. Because I am not about to let somebody take me under and ride my wave and my blessings when I work for it. And if you know you're not working hard enough for it, step it up, because that may be what spirit is telling you. It may be telling you to juice it up a little bit. You see what I'm saying? That somebody else sees the potential, or these energies see the potential you have. Ultimately, there's a lesson in everything, and it can always be a good lesson. And when I say that, I mean somebody can be, or these beings can be trying to steal your energy in your space and in your time. But again, they can be propelling you if you want to reach that destiny, if you want to obtain what it is you say you are, or what you say you have, or you want to fight to become that. That is when you're going to even feel it in your spirit, a tug in your spirit, to where you feel like all of a sudden you getting tired. That means they winning. But if you look at yourself, you may even feel that way, but you got to pull yourself up and pull yourself together and be like, listen, I earn this. And if I'm not doing enough, I'm finna do more work. And I'm going to take back what's mine. Period. It doesn't matter what it is. And again, this can be in a relationship, in a 9 to 5. If you're experiencing this in a 9 to 5, it could be because you don't have no business in a 9 to 5. You should be your own 9 to 5. So what that means is you need to be finding a way to contribute to yourself to get paid off your abilities and your talents. Never allow somebody else to make you feel mediocre, or tell you what you do not have, or that you don't have license to do this. And when I say license, I mean the credentials and the permission to do so. Who the hell gave them theirs? So at some point, I'm always thinking about the very beginning of things. Who gave anybody, you see what I'm saying, the right to do anything? Now, you also have to understand that some things also may not be for you. So there's a balance. And there's where you go and you seek divination. If you ever come to that cross where you don't understand what you're doing, or now you're getting real confused, or as I call it, confuzzled, and you don't know which way you want to go, then you may need to seek consultation. Because again, I use the job, for example, the 9 to 5. It may be that you are just in the wrong field, or, if you're supposed to be someone who works somewhere, because no, everybody's not a business owner, um, that you're working in the wrong field in life, that you're just doing the wrong thing, something that's just not on your path. So that could be your challenge. Or it could be that you need to start your own 9 to 5, meaning be your own employer. You see what I'm saying? So you always have that balance that you need to check out. And this is why we have divination. This is why we have people who are spiritual, who do these type of things, who can connect to spirit. But again, even then, you want to always vet these people out. Know that they care about you. Know that they have good intentions for you, and that they want to help you. But also understand that they don't have to, because they already are what they are. So there needs to be gratitude on both ends. And I always express that. And I'm probably going to start doing that at the end of everything that I do, is making sure for myself to check myself and to check other people, to keep it in a check and balance, that gratitude is necessary on both ends, so that we don't become ungrateful and we don't start spiritual warfares among each other that are unnecessary in the first place. So with that being said, that's kind of some of what I wanted to touch on, as far as, people trying to come around you and steal. They just, you got these people that's always in your business. They always asking you questions. They always want to know why this and why that and this, that, and the other. And you check them out on their platforms or on their media, and they may get more exposure than you. And you check them out, and all of a sudden you see a similar conversation that you had with them. You see what I'm saying? but they running with it like it's theirs. That's a vampire. That's somebody who is sucking your energy and they are building on top of you. Even the smallest things like that, once you notice it, that becomes a bigger thing. If you sit there and continue to let it snowball, then eventually it's going to jump off and be something different. So, sometimes it's a test of, do we have the how do you say it? Do we have the gumption we say we have? Like, are you going to go out and be like, hey, let me talk to you about this, that, and the third? And if you bring it to their attention and they continue to do so, or they feel affronted, in any kind of way other than, hey, yeah, that's not what I'm doing, blah, 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 but you still see the same actions afterwards, then know that your first instinct was probably correct. And if you see a change, just pay attention to changes. And if there's somebody who really cares about you, depending on how you word things, how you bring it, and the energy you have when you approach the situation, then you will know what their true intentions are. But just understand that it's a lot of people that in order for them to get what they want, if they feel like they can use you in any type of way, they'll be somebody who will pour a little bit of honey on it to make it sound good, because in the end they know that they're trying to manipulate you. So always go with your first instinct. You can feel it in your stomach, you can feel it in your gut. That's why they call it a gut feeling. You literally can feel it in your stomach, so it's something that just don't sit right. I almost feel like something hitting the bottom of your stomach, and you can usually feel it around these individuals. Okay, that's how you know. So I'm just dropping a little gem right there. That's how you know spiritually when you're around beings who don't mean you well. Okay, so pay attention to that. And like I say, it's always a balance to stuff. So I always go to the flip side too, in the same way you get. But there's a particular gut feeling where you know that if you already have never maliciously set out to do anything to anyone or these people, then you know what you feeling is correct. But if you have been having subjective character, something been going on, you've been stirring up shit, you can still feel that feeling, but you probably invoked it. So either way, it needs to be dealt with. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that I stress that. Don't look like I'm gonna be on here too long, because that was my message for today. And again, I wanted to say too, well, I say that at the end. Right now, I wanted to kind of share the general message for today, because we always do our little talk, and we're gonna do our tarot at the end of what general message somebody needs to hear. I don't know who. I'm just hoping it helps somebody, or that it brings some light to something, even if it sounds simple. So I have, let me see. Can you see this? Okay. So what this card spoke to me, and I'm gonna just go by the visual. I don't read the books that come with the cards. And I think I've said that before, because I use my own intuition and what spirit is telling me. So what I see when I look at this card is, I see somebody, let me hold it back up, dressed nice, beautiful person, dressed nicely, standing with some wheat, look like they're dropping some seeds on the ground. I see like a half of a kettle in the background. What that says to me is, make sure that the seeds you sow in this life, that you put some kind of, when you take, and I talk about that a lot, when you take, you always need to replenish. If you out here looking good and you feeling good, and you say you got so much to be thankful for, especially if you're bragging about it or just sharing it, whichever one it be, you need to make sure that you are replenishing those seeds, so that it does not come back in some type of catastrophic way in your life. Meaning that you have taken and taken and taken and taken, and you looking good and feeling good, and you say you thankful. But what have you physically done spiritually, whatever it is, to make sure that you replenish those same materials. And they don't have to be in the same way, but making sure you put back some type of physical material back into the earth that has provided for you. Because at the base of all of these things that we love so much, it had to come from some type of original source of nature. So you always want to balance something. If it's people around you that have been supporting you, show some kind of love back to them, you know. Um, and that's it for that one. So for this one, it kind of reminds me. I love this card. It was really powerful. So like even with what we are looking at, you know, you got the person who looks like he's about to be hung with the noose around his neck and the calabash marking the four quadrants on his forehead, color black. So what I'm seeing when I see this card is somebody who is sacrificing himself. Okay. So again, the message that I'm getting right now is to not become sacrificed. Like we were talking about earlier, and I kind of want to ride that for a little second. When you allow someone to steal your blessings and to build upon you, what you have now become is a sacrifice. You are giving everything you have to another individual who probably have not had the same experiences, does not have the same heart or intentions as you, who may not, that is probably not even their destiny. Okay. That's why people chase things so hard, like money and stuff like hell. It may not even be for them because it shouldn't be that hard, and you shouldn't be that hard up for it. And it shouldn't change you. It shouldn't change how you approach other people. It shouldn't make you want to attack other people for wealth. It shouldn't make you want to go out and be violent. It shouldn't make you want to turn your back on somebody. Anything that connotes a negative nature coming out of you may not either be for you, or you need to check your approach and how you get it. And when I say you, that's whoever, me, anybody. We need to check our approaches and things. So again, do not become the sacrifice. Just like people of melanin, you have become a willing sacrifice for all other races in this world to build off of you, because you don't know who you are. You didn't know your worth. They saw your worth. They saw your value. And this is what I mean in even the most minute situations. Friends, so-called family, so-called friends, your 9 to 5 you work hard for every day. These beings and entities have saw your value, and they are capitalizing off of your value. You have willingly become a sacrifice that does not benefit you. So, with that being said, it is our choice to become the sacrifice. I choose not to be a sacrifice for anybody else. I feel like my ancestors have done enough. I feel like I'm the one that needs to carry the torch until I'm ready to pass it to somebody who's worthy to pass it to, based off of their intentions, based off of their character. Do they have the same passion that I have for what I'm doing for people, for your family, for your children, whatever it is? It needs to have a good ending, a good intention, something bigger than yourself. Because if it does not, then the end result will be you being by yourself. Okay. So like I said, there's some people who want to steal from you, but their intentions is mediocre. You know, it's nothing. They just mean it for self. It's not even gonna carry past them. They don't deserve to carry your torch. So do not be their sacrifice. That's what I'm saying. And then you have this last card. I'm sorry, I got a little passionate about that one. But and then this last, and this one is powerful too, because this is what we were just talking about as well. And the number 8 to me represents balance. Okay, because it's equal. It's an equal number. First of all, it's even. So you have this, and you have somebody who's standing in the middle of swords. They're standing in the middle of swords, but also in the middle of a crossroad. Okay, so they're standing in the middle of a crossroad trying to figure out which way to go. Either way that they go, they're going to be surrounded by swords. They're going to be surrounded by a fight. They're going to be surrounded by material things that are going to challenge them. So now that you're standing in the middle of this crossroad, Ritualz reminds me kind of everything we're going through today. So I want to elaborate on that a little bit because these are cards that Spirit chose. Okay. So even today in time, you see all of this foolishness and hypocrisy going on in the world. You see all of these things happening around us with the government. You see all these things happening in spirituality. There's a world war going on already. People thought that the Civil War, it was going to be people picking up. And even though we ready, we thought that it was going to be guns and pitchforks and, you know what I'm saying, like napalm and all kind of stuff finna happen. You know, hell, I even thought of myself too. I was like, oh no, we got to get ready. But I also always knew that it was a spiritual warfare at the same time, psychological warfare. People are having a lot of choices that they have to make right now. For one of them, let me say, is this vaccination. You are at a crossroad when you take that vaccination. Trust and believe you. You better be very careful. Make sure that you're not moving on fear because fear only exists in the mind of those who are willing to submit to it. No matter what happens, if you submit to fear, that was a personal choice, even if it meant endangering your life, whatever it is, you need to know what you believe in and you need to stand on. Don't even believe, know what you know. That means factually, it needs to be sound in the universe, not in a man-made book, not in something that they can edit at any given time, not in something that they can snatch up off of the media and off the internet and edit it anytime they feel like. You see what I'm saying? Because now you are being susceptible to thoughts that are not your own. You see what I'm saying? So you become a person that is at a crossroads. The world is in a crossroads right now. Okay. And it's a decision being made whether we want to choose the right, whether we want to choose the left, or some people think that they can stand in the middle, but there is no neutral choice at this point because everything is being split into two and even three parts. You got those who are about to be left behind, those who are at this point willing to be sheep. They know that they may know with everything in their spirit that what they doing ain't right, but they just gonna do it because everybody else doing it. That's their business, you know. Then you have some people who know that they're gonna be ridiculed. They're gonna be called the crazies. People like myself, I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm the crazies. They know that they're going to be called crazy for not wanting their bodies, for example, begin with this vaccination, to be invaded with some poison created by people who we don't know their intentions, who ain't never did shit else for us, who we don't see, who we can't go after, who already got laws set in place that if they kill you, it's all for the greater good. You got to be a fool. I'm just saying. So if you think at this point and you forgot the faith that most people claim they have, because I don't even hear them talking about that now, that you got all this faith that you're supposed to have, but your faith results right back into you putting something into science. Scientists always go back and edit something. They have been doing it since the beginning of their studies. Okay, their discoveries. Discover means to uncover something that was already there. Now, what the intentions of the individuals, you don't know that. You don't know that. We don't know that. So why would you think because they have gone to school and said that they are scientists, that all of a sudden they have jurisdiction over your life? That's foolishness. And that means you don't have the faith that you say you have. And whoever that is speaking to, I hope it does make you feel some kind of way. It should. Want to talk about it? We can talk about it. My link is in the bio. So with that being said, you know, we need to, when we are at a crossroads, make sure we're making the right decision. And again, we have divination, we have spiritualists for that. How do you know that you can trust them? Vet them out. That's it. And trust your intuition at that point. Because yes, even though we trust our intuition, there are people who have already been walking that path that can help us, but you do need to make sure you check them out first. Check everybody out. Again, And at this point, I want to go ahead and kind of end the subject. I'm hoping that I clarified some things for people who may have been feeling afraid, who may have been feeling like, they've been in some type of spiritual community where these people are more powerful than them, that they've been in a job that's more powerful than them, wherever they have been, where you feel like you should allow yourself to become a sacrifice for people to build off of you. Then I need you, the world needs you, the universe needs you to reconsider your self-worth, your value. I'm speaking from experience. So I'm not fussing at anybody or trying to make myself feel like I'm on a pedestal or I'm talking like I'm better than somebody. This is valuable information that people, we should be utilizing. So either you feel like it can help you or it can't. If it does not help you, by all means, don't take it. But if it does, then listen to yourself. Start doing a check and balancing with who you are, what your worth is. I'm not saying when you do find teachers or places in the world where you want to elevate higher in a particular knowledge that you go cocky and be like, oh, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is know your worth so that no one else can devalue you, build on top of you, and sacrifice you. That's what I'm saying. So to end this session, I want to give thanks to my ancestors, to the ancestors of those who have sat and watched. Want to thank your ancestors for trusting me to share information. Also, I want to let you guys know that within my booking link, you can also book your readings. All of my information is available. I don't hide anything. I may not be able to respond right away. If you contact me, at least give me 48 hours. But if you feel like you're in need of a reading, you don't know what you need to do, or you need a consultation of sorts, then by all means, reach out to me and to my husband, who is also an Awo of Babalawo of Ifa, and I am a priestess of Oshun, and yes, and a few other things. I'm also a Yagi, but either way, without all the titles, I am who I am, and I am a spiritualist by nature. That is who I am. So with whatever is vested in me, whatever I know to do to help, we can do cleansings. We can help you with divination, with the remedies that come after. Do come with the open mind and expect to do some work. Nobody will ever promise you that you won't go through anything, that you won't experience certain things, but the promise is always that when you do the right remedies and make the right sacrifices and the right decisions, and you stand up and you fight back spiritually or whatever way that you know how, that you will be successful in your endeavors. So again, if you want to go ahead and book with me or book with my husband, please do so in the bio, but reach out to us first. And I mean in my link, I'm sorry. Please reach out to us first so that you can see what it is that you need so you can book properly or know what direction to be led in. And also, we will make sure that we are the ones to do the work for you, because with this work, it's serious work. It's not something that you just jump up and do on the fly, things like that. I will never sell you on that. I'm not a salesman. I'm a spiritualist. So though I do sell my supplies, I do, have to put a price to everything, because why should I work for free? Nobody works for free. With that being said, even though I don't work for free, I don't work to steal. So please do reach out to us if you feel the need to reach out to us. And I also have a physical location that you can stop by. But because I move around and I'm in and out, it's always best to contact via phone first. Thank y'all for listening, for tuning in, and I hope that I help somebody somewhere today. Ashe.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. Night in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? So no more. This man's mind is open. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to the
motive
gritty
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.